Hey guys, thank you for reaching out onto my channel. I hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas, but we're reaching towards New Year's, so today I want to give you 5 tips in how you can arrange your own fingerstyle covers. So let's get to it! Okay, before we start heading off, I would appreciate a lot if you like this video and to subscribe to my channel and to share this video with all your friends and follow me on my social media, which the links are going to be down in the description below. But now let's get to the video. Okay, so I've been playing the acoustic guitar for about 5 years and I've been arranging cover songs for about a couple of years. And the first tip that I can give you guys is to get familiar with your guitar. So what I do at the start is just get familiar with some basic chords like G, D and F and C and stuff, and there's a lot of basic chords that you should know, and I think that will help you a lot with arranging your own cover. So I think that's one of the first steps that I could teach you and tell you that you should know about your guitar and just know that where to press to get like the low notes, to get the high notes, and yeah, just play around with the guitar. Like what I usually do is just like play like C, just like mess around, play like different kind of fingerstyle patterns and just like fiddle around. And I think that's really beneficial when it comes to knowing the guitar. And by the way, I don't even know how to read music, or I have never been taught to play the guitar, or I don't even know all the names of the chords. So if you guys are worried about like not knowing that much about music, it's completely fine, because you don't really even need to know all of the things about music to make arrangements. So I reckon that's a good tip that I can give you guys, is that you don't really need to know all the knowledge about guitar or music or anything. And what I also can tell you guys is that making a lot of mistakes and just playing around with the guitar is very like good for you, because like at the start I didn't even know what to do, so I was just like playing around, mucking around with the guitar. But as like years go by and times go by, like you start to get the feel of acoustic guitar, which is very good for when you're arranging acoustic covers. So that's my first step that I can give you guys, is that to get familiar with your guitar. So all you guys need to know is some knowledge about where to hit the chords to get the right notes. So that's all you pretty much need to know, and you're pretty much fine, and we can get to arranging. Okay, so as my second step that I can give you guys is to listen to the song that you choose to arrange over and over again. So what I usually do is I'll pick a song, and when I'm out and about on the train or in the car or even at home, I'll just keep listening to it over and over again and just get the feeling of the music. So like I'll listen to the bass line, the chords, the treble lines, the lyrics, and fingerstyle acoustic guitar is like mixing together with the treble, the bass, and the lyrics. So you really need to listen to the song and get the tempo, the rhythm, and all the sequences in the music. So I think that will really help you. So listening to the song over and over again will make you familiar with the song. So it's much easier to start beginning to arrange acoustic covers, so you know the patterns and the sequences of the song. So it's much easier to start beginning to arrange your own acoustic cover. So I think that's a very good tip that I can give you guys, is to listen to the song over and over again and just get familiar with the song. So as my third step that I can give you guys is that once you're familiar with the guitar and you're familiar with the song that you've chosen, now it's time to start arranging the song. So what I usually do is starting off with like chords or finding the bass line of the music. So for example, Closer by Chainsmokers, I would firstly find the chords for the song, which is G, D, and this chord right here. And once I've found the chord, I would start to just play around with some fingerstyles, like, and just start fiddling around with the chords, and you kind of get the picture of the song, and you can start to experiment a lot with the chords that you find. Then after you've found the chords, you can start expanding more into actually arranging the song. So once you find the chords, most often the arrangements are around where the chords are. So if you find G, this, and around here, usually the song will operate around this area of the fret. Then I would find the next bass root, which is right here. And that's the next part into the song. So after this, I just keep on adapting, and like around here, there's probably the next part into the song. So I go from the chords, then now I go into the actual music, which is like this. When you're arranging, you don't need to really look for the chords everywhere in the fret. It's usually around where you find the chords and the frets around there. So as my third step that I can give you guys is that it's important to find the chords and the bass lines of the song first, because I think that's the most base point that you can start off with when you're starting to arrange a song. So when you find the chords or the bass line, you can start to expand. What I can also tell you guys is that mostly the bass line changes the most in acoustic guitar arrangements. So not much of the treble changes, but this is still the same, but the bass line has changed. So I can show you this with a different song as well, such as BTS, The Untold Truth that I arranged as well, which only the bass line pretty much changes throughout the song. That's one chord. This is the second bass chord, which only the bass changes really. So what I can tell you guys from this is that mostly the bass line changes, so keep in mind that the bass line changes the most and not the treble. So you don't need to look a lot for the treble line, but look for the bass line when you're arranging your acoustic cover. And I think that's one of the main points that I can give you guys. So another tip that I can give you guys is that using open chords and open strings is very important in acoustic arrangements, because when you use open bass lines, the bass line sustains and it sounds much clearer and better when you arrange your acoustic guitar. An example that I can give you guys is in Psycho by Post Malone, that I use a lot of open strings, like this. When I play this song, I'm only actually pressing 1 or 2 strings at a time, so the other notes that you hear is actually open strings that I'm playing. So using open strings makes it more sustained in the bass, and it just sounds much more clear and more vibrant to the music. So I would suggest you to use a lot of open bass lines. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how do you do open bass line arrangements? And one of the key tools that you can use is this capo right here. So instead of me just pressing or barring all these strings and doing the open chords, I'll just use the capo and clip it right here, so I don't need to press anything. And it just makes it much easier to do the open strings. So this is pretty much how I start off with arranging a song. I would first find the chords, then I'll find the treble, the bass line, then start fidgeting with the capo and where I'm going to fret in the guitar to do the open bass strings. Another tip that I can give you guys is that when you're finding a chord, usually the chords are around 3 to 4 patterns. So for example, in Closer by the Chainsmokers, it's only 3 patterns. It's only this. And in BTS by The Untold Truth, it's 4 patterns, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. But sometimes in the songs like Psycho by Post Malone, it's only 2 chords, which is this. So you kind of get the idea that usually the patterns in the chords is usually up from 3 to 4 and sometimes 2 patterns. So I think that's another tip that I can give you guys, is that there's not many patterns in the chords that you need to find for the arrangement of the cover. It's usually, just a couple. So now moving on to my 4th tip that I can give you guys is that once you find the chords and the bass lines and treble lines, now you should start to experiment and just let your imagination grow towards the song. Now you should start experimenting with your bass line that you have. So for example, in Psycho, once I find the bass line, the chords and the treble line, I will start to experiment with the finger patterns and the tempo of the song. So after listening to the song over and over again, I kind of have the image in the pattern and the sequence in the song. But I want to make it original, and that just makes it into your own arrangement of the cover. So you should start to experiment and use a lot of slides maybe, or pull-offs, hammer-ons, and maybe using harmonics is even good as well. And so I would just say that just playing around and experimenting and just letting your imagination grow onto the song is very original and just makes it into your own arrangement of the cover. So what I do is just like using percussions with the guitar and using sometimes harmonics, which makes it very unique to the song. So I can give you guys an example right here. And just using these little small percussions and just pull-offs and hammer-ons, it just makes the song much better and it sounds more unique to your own arrangement. So I would suggest you guys to just start experimenting and being very creative in your arrangement. So another tip that I can give you guys is that if you're not very familiar with the guitar and you don't have that much techniques in using the acoustic guitar, I would suggest you to use synthesizers that blend really well with the acoustic guitars. So just playing around with the synthesizer and blending it in with your acoustic arrangement just makes your arrangement sound much better and smoother. Okay, so that was my fourth tip that I can give you guys, and now let's move on to my last tip that I can give you guys today. So the fifth and last tip that I can give you guys today is that once you have created your own arrangement in one song, I feel that it's not ideal to just focus on one song and master it. So instead I would just do this song and arrange it, and simultaneously I would arrange another song at the same time. I feel that just arranging a lot of covers at the same time and just not focusing on one song just makes you more familiar with arranging cover songs, and it just also makes you familiar with the song, the guitar, and you start to learn new techniques that you can use into your arrangements. So what I can suggest you guys is to not just focus on one song and just play a couple of songs and start arranging them. And the most important thing that I can tell you guys for sure is to just enjoy arranging songs and playing them. So if you don't like the song, or if you don't like arranging, I wouldn't really suggest you into doing this type of thing with the acoustic guitar, and just do whatever you really want to do, and yeah, just have fun in playing guitar. And one of the most letdowns that I had when I first started arranging acoustic covers is that I didn't arrange it very well. So I almost came to this point that I was going to give up in playing guitar and start arranging songs because my fingers were hurting, I couldn't play the chords right, I couldn't get the notes right. And I was very overwhelmed with the amazing players on internet, and I never believed in myself that I would ever be good as them. But as I just kept on practicing different songs and just trying out different techniques and just kept on practicing, I started to get the hang of playing the guitar and started to arranging. So what I can tell you guys is that to never give up on playing the guitar and stop arranging songs if you really like it, because in the end you'll get the hang of it and you'll start to be able to master it and just start creating more and more, and you'll have a lot of enjoyment, and yeah, you'll start loving it. So when I first didn't know how to arrange songs, I would look on YouTube and look at other people play their arrangement of the song. And I would just simply copy them and look closely to their fingers, and on YouTube I would just play it on slow motion and look really carefully at where they place their fingers and the strumming patterns. And I'll just copy exactly what they do, and I kind of get the image on how people arrange their songs. So I could use that into my own arrangement as well. So I think that's another tip that I can give you guys that could be useful when you're not sure about how to arrange songs. So I hope you guys found this video very helpful, and now you can start arranging your own covers. And now going back to my 5 points that I told today is that first, that you should get familiar with your guitar, and second, listen to the song over and over again that you have chosen, and third, look for the chords and the bass line of the song, and fourth is to start experimenting with the chords and the bass lines and the treble that you have found, and as the fifth and final is to start practicing a lot of songs and not just focusing on one song, and start arranging a lot. Okay, so thank you for sticking by, but this is going to be the end of this video, and I hope you guys found it helpful, and I'm probably going to be posting more videos like this, so if you're interested, follow me on my social media and subscribe to my channel and like this video if you found it helpful, and I'll see you guys soon, and Happy New Year's!